Rescue services say it's extraordinary no one was killed in the explosion, which blew an empty fish and chip shop to pieces and smashed windows for 30 yards in all directions. Nearby residents were shocked as their houses shook with the force of the blast. The centre of Ivybridge as paramedics stood by and firemen rescued people from adjoining flats.
There was major damage to the building.
It looked as if a bomb had hit it. The chip shop, which had been teetering on the point of collapse all night, has been pulled down, sending rubble and yet more debris into the street. At one stage, it was impossible to walk anywhere without crunching glass underfoot. Tonight, shopkeepers are left counting the cost.
Last night's explosion at Ivybridge because the wreckage is still too dangerous. The blast destroyed a fish and chip shop in 4th Street. 5 people were taken to hospital suffering from shock and smoke inhalation. Police haven't ruled out arson.
Services say it was a miracle that no one was killed or seriously injured. The explosion ripped out the front of the chippy, sending glass and other debris flying across the high street. Jagged shards of plate glass were found embedded in walls 30 feet away. Had the explosion happened a couple of hours earlier, when the pubs were chucking out, injuries would have been unavoidable. Today, as the people of Ivybridge were coming to terms with the devastation, the cause of the incident remained unclear.
If we had an ordinary fire situation, if we can call a fire ordinary, then it could have melted the pipework, and then you would have had an escape of gas, which would have ignited. The other theory is that if the gas had been left on and perhaps blown out, then you would have had a build-up of gas, and then you may have had an ignition source, like a fridge or something like that, came on and ignited the gas cloud. And these are 2 options that we're looking at.
The explosion happened at 1:30 on Sunday morning. Today, the debris was still smouldering as workmen cleared away what was left of the shop. Police, fire investigators and gas board officials are still mystified as to what caused the explosion that blew out the chippy's front, sending glass and debris hurtling across the high street. These pictures, taken within minutes of the explosion, show the extent of the blast. It took 60 firemen to get the fire that followed under control. Officers found jagged shards of plate glass embedded in walls 30 feet away. People had to be helped from their homes, away from the gas main that had ignited. Residents were convinced it was a bomb. The rescue services were convinced that had the explosion happened earlier, deaths and serious injuries would have been inevitable. But still...